Welcome everyone to another episode of the Warmup. I'm here with the guys again. It's me, man. I am Conference Chris. We got Kev RL in the building and Mr. and One again. Mr. Second and One. So say what's up to everyone who's rocking with us whenever they're watching us, guys. Say what's up.
What's up, family?
Yo, Kev, like I said in the pre-pod, I'm so glad you're back, man. I was dealing with this lunatic by myself, man, stressing me out. I'm glad you're back to bring back the balance, keep Chris in check. I appreciate it, man. We missed you.
The truth is hard to swallow, so I do understand that you probably need some buffer in your doses. So I appreciate you, Kevin, as well, because some people just like to just go off on rants, and it's kind of hard to reel them back in. So thank you for keeping us grounded, and we're gonna have a hot summer session this time again for another week, man. On Tuesday again. If you're here, this is your first time rocking with us. We talk about sports, current events, and everything else between the lens of Black culture, man. And we're here every Tuesday, so be sure to go ahead and click on us on the audio side, wherever you get your podcast from, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Google, whoever's your provider, whoever's your pusher, man. Go ahead and pick it up from them, or if you're on the video side,
trying to be cool.
See what I'm saying?
Man, stay out of that TikTok, man.
See what I'm saying? I'm talking about
He's
plugs.
kicking it with the kids, man.
Hey,
been watching Power Book.
Hey. Stop talking about. Hey, I'm the cool guy. I'm the cool kid. I'm the cool. What do you call it?
Okay,
not making that gesture, bro.
I'm
just saying. He making a gesture. He's saying it. I don't remember anyone cool saying it cool.
Well,
That's cool thing. I'm cool.
Sometimes I didn't know I had to say it. But you guys.
Because you don't.
Well, it sounded like y'all didn't know.
Thank you, Kev.
It sounded like you didn't.
If you don't know, it ain't emanating. Then it gotta just emanate. You know what I mean?
It did emanate, but we got haters. Not you, Kev, but we have haters in the group. So sometimes
there's only one other person, man. Process of elimination. You talking about me, huh?
Hey. I'm not pointing the finger at you. I'm just saying there's somebody in here. You know what I'm saying? The room of three. And I'm giving you a hint. I'm giving you a hint who is not. So, man, let me finish my plug, man. So here you go eating.
My boy.
Always unprofessional. So, like I
said, unless we sponsor, then you could have been like, put the box up, like I'm snacking on.
Yeah, so anyways, like I was saying, man, if you're catching us on the YouTube side, hit the like, hit the subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, leave a comment in the boxes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just let us know how you feel. And again, the audio side, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify, do all that stuff, man. Everything that you would do for all of your other faves, you know what I'm saying? I want to be fave too. So check us out on the social networking side, man. We're on Twitter, Reddit, and we are on IG, Grindhouse NTWK. Feel free to follow us there, like it, hit us on the messages and whatever we post. You know what I'm saying? Engage with us. And then we also have the Discord, finally, Grindhouse Network, and that is a publicly searched server room. So come through, man. You can chat with us and just again, banter. Safe zone, you know what I'm saying? All fun and free and safe. So, to get your trash talking off. So, with that said, anything else, man, I missed? Anything else y'all want to add? I'm glad he learned how to mute himself. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad you learned how to mute yourself. I don't have to do it anymore. So, anyways, let's move it on, man.
We don't have
to worry about that. So, anyways, NBA playoffs, man. We're deep into the thick of things. We are getting more separation from who's going to be the champion and who is getting sent to the island. That's right. We're going to talk about the Cancun crew again. And that the second time around is a little tough. We're going to just start with the East. The Sixers. Yo, I don't know what happened with them, but the TLDR of it is Sixers got bounced. Sixers just got, escorted off the premises diligently. Joel Embiid tried his hardest. He did have the orbital fracture. He came back in game 3. He made it somewhat of a series, but we knew it wasn't going to last long because guess what? Tobias Harris, James Harden, and 81 not named Tyrese Maxey. it showed up or played to their expectations. So Joel Embiid and Maxey tried to gut it out, but the Heat was just too potent and too structured of a team to really just let that get loose, and they kindly let them out the back door, swept them away. So, man, we gotta talk about these Sixers, man. They said they're going to bring back Doc. Doc hasn't won a championship since 2008. He's had a couple of 3-1 losses in the playoffs, and according to him, they're not telling the whole story. So they're bringing him back. Is it worth it? Is it the right idea to bring back Doc Rivers for the Sixers? I'll let you start off, Kev.
First thing that comes to mind, if not Doc, then who? I don't know who's out there right now for them to pick up on. I'm thinking about the relationship the players may have developed with Doc, and I'm expecting that they may have had a say in it. Mm-hmm. And if they're bringing him back, it had to have been because they felt somewhat good about something he's done. Where have the Sixers improved? Anyone? Is the defense? Have they improved in the defense? Like what got them from last year to this year? What has improved? Clearly.
Joel has
improved. Eye
test. Joel has improved. And honestly, I don't know if it's a big improvement, but he stayed the course over a series of years. So
that's what I saw too. I saw Joel improve. Kurt, what do you think?
This is Doc's first season, right? Or his second?
Second season. Come on, we know about the Ben Simmons.
You're right. Yeah, so year 1, year 2, or 2 Joel Embiid MVP caliber seasons. I'm hesitant to put that on Doc because he had just got there.
It's not Doc.
I don't know what he did to free up Embiid to make him more. I think it was more Embiid. I think no matter who the coach would have been, Embiid would have just been dominant because I think he was tired of the narrative people were painting of him. But that's a good question. I don't know what Doc. When you asked that, when you said that, I was like, what is Doc known for? We know Nick Nurse is good at adjustments. We know Pop has his system. Kerr is good at adjustments and offensive ball. D'Antoni is good at offense. If you have a team and you're looking to have your team have an identity, you bring Doc in. What identity you think your team is going to have from him?
That's what I hope to have had an answer to that question, which is why I was trying to approach it from that angle. I was like, okay, what has Doc done? What has he done with the team? What has changed or improved or even just changed? You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I don't know why they brought Doc back. I don't have enough to say they shouldn't have, but I don't see anything to say that they should have. Like, there's nothing that's clear as they're saying, man, Doc did this. He improved their XYZ. Bring him back, give him another chance to see what he does. I don't have that statement for y'all, man. I wish I did, but I guess we're going to go with what we know, what has already had an opportunity to work with the players. Maybe we're expecting to see some leap, given he's had that time to lay some foundation down. Maybe that's the angle, but if I was voting, I have no evidence to say Doc deserves a third chance.
Okay. All right, Mr. And One again.
So I'm gonna read a comment from our favorite NBA player. This is Harden post game comments, right? So he has a $47 million player option. To ask him about it, he said, "I'll be here." He said some other stuff about it. Then he said, Harden said he said the ball didn't get to him, which is interesting because for the most part, he was the de facto point guard, was he not? Maxey played off of Harden.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
main ball handler, yep.
Yeah, main ball handler. So the ball didn't get to him. He said he didn't get back to him. He said the ball didn't get to him.
No.
Asked if Doc Rivers calls plays for him, he said, next question. So, I'm going to put it out there, take it as you will. But the article is saying that Harden blames Doc Rivers for his disappointing play, which is interesting. which would imply the only way a coach can help you out is to put you in good situations and good positions. I think the Sixers' biggest downfall is their roster. They upgraded, taking a player who couldn't play and got a player who could play. So that's an upgrade. I can't say that they won the trade, but it's an upgrade. Outside of that, we always talk about 3-point shooting. The best Sixers team they had was Embiid, Ben, and they had like shooters. It was two older, Marco Bellinelli and it was somebody else. That was like
Redick.
One of the best Sixers teams.
Was it JJ Redick on the team? Or no?
Maybe JJ, and then JJ and Jimmy. That was like
Jimmy.
That's probably a better. That was the first team after that, right? Mm-hmm. They don't have any of that. They don't have a playmaker in Jimmy. They don't have a shooter in JJ. Danny Green he's good, but he's getting older, right? He can't be your primary. He needs to come off the bench and support the bench role. So I say all that to say, I think the biggest thing is roster. That's going to be on Daryl and what he can will and deal this offseason. They don't have a lot to trade. I don't know too many teams line up to take Harris, and that should be the first thing they look at. They're not going to get rid of Harden. Can't get rid of Embiid. Maxey is too promising. So untouchables, Embiid, Maxey. I think anything else is will and deal.
So does that include Doc?
I was gonna ask that because
I like Kev's thing though. Every time they say a coach is gonna go, like who you gonna bring in? But I mean, okay, let's look at Doc. His last two stops, right? He was the Clippers. Before the Clippers, was in Boston. I don't know who immediately replaced him at Boston. I can't remember. But the Clippers, when he left, they got Ty, right? Ty was an assistant coach to him. Sam Cassell is on the bench with him now. He was on the bench with him with the Clippers. Mm-hmm. Maybe Cassell, the upgrade is sitting next to him.
Maybe.
Because Ty did a lot better I know they didn't make the playoffs, but we could see the coaching effects, the adjustments, the things like that happened with the Clippers. Mm-hmm. Ty did more with less than what Doc did with more. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But to answer your question, Kev, before the pod, I was like, yo, cut Doc. But that's a good question. Who are you going to get?
Well, I do think.
What did the Sixers need?
That's the question.
Outside of roster, what kind of playing style do you need to implement? And that answer, I think, will lead to a coach.
That's the question. Yeah.
You probably need an inside out play, style out play. You need to have Joel Embiid basically operating at the highest, probably at the elbow free throw line area. Yeah. That way, he can kind of operate, or maybe it should be something similar to how the Nuggets run their offense. They both can pass, they both can shoot, they both are really good in the post, and that's where your main attraction is. So maybe you should emulate something to that degree. I don't like, a lot of people don't like it, not just me, but I don't like the whole big man sit at the 3-point line.
You don't like the Cat Williams style?
That doesn't.
The Cat.
Yeah, Cat Williams. I call him Cat Williams at this point. Yeah. He is a joke. So.
Come on, man. You don't like
the Towns approach of basketball. I'm with you on that.
So that'll be the first thing to answer your question. What is it they need to probably change, or what do they need their basketball scheme to look like? Is probably that. And at least for now, with who you have, we don't know how they're going to operate in the offseason, but we know Embiid's going to still be there. So that's why I would start first. If you can get you a Jimmy Butler, if he wants to come back, or they can fleece the Miami Heat, which I doubt they'll ever be able to do, or anyone else of similar ilk, then you can restructure your offense. But as of right now, it should really be. Offense should be going through Embiid. You need shooters like Seth Curry, who's not there no more. So you just need people who are consistent enough from the outside to not make it be a zone defense essentially, or a box and one defense, like some type of defense that's just like as soon as they go inside, everyone crashes on them. But yeah, we don't want to see I don't want to see another iteration of the Nuggets, broken Nuggets, like injured Nuggets. I don't want to see another iteration of that. So
something like what the Spurs is running the Duncan era.
Yeah,
because Duncan was always in the paint. And before we leave the Sixers, I'm going to read just two more interesting quotes to you guys. Embiid, who we know speaks what's on his heart, right? We know one teammate took that a little too close to heart, right? Mm-hmm. That's why he's not there anymore. Mm-hmm. So Embiid's answer, I hate how they never post a question, right? Uh-huh. But I'm sure since we got him, everyone's suspecting the Houston James Harden. That's not who he is anymore. And I guess it was a question about Harden's play.
Yeah.
Then he mentioned, still don't know why or how we let him go. And we know he's not talking about Simmons. He's talking about Jimmy.
Yeah.
Talking about that?
Yeah. Joel Embiid still has a lot of respect for Jimmy. I think that was the only person who can kind of match that same competitive fire that he's expecting, personally speaking. Tobias Harris, he's actually probably a really good mercenary, just offensive guy, come in, plug and play. But if you're going to rely on him to be this, pillar of your franchise, I just don't see it. Maybe it's just me. And Ben Simmons, we know what that's about right now. That's still pending on if he's going to even make it back on the court.
He has a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm glad he successfully made it out of his back surgery, so that's a good thing.
Surgery?
Yeah, he had a back surgery, I guess. Other than that, man, I don't. Who else has Joel had? He hasn't really had anyone with that same mindset, So
no, and Max is too young, but he's good. They should keep hold on.
Yeah,
I guess go back to your question, Kev. It's hard to say what kind of style. Well, Chris is so. I guess coaches who are familiar with playing with the big, in my mind, instantly not Pop because he's older. He's not leaving San Antonio, but maybe somebody from the Popovich tree.
I know they all in the playoffs. Well, at least they were. Like 6 of the 8 or 7 of the 8 have been influenced by Pop at one point in time. I think you should go up and just touch him, just grab a strand of his hair, and just get that wisdom that comes along with him. So I think that's kind of how it works. But what about the roster? I mean, we talk about the roster. I mean, let's just be more specific, man. James Harden, man, should he stick around? I don't. What do you guys think?
I think James has to stay, man, because one, for him to force his way out of Philly, that'll be his third team, man, and that's a big hit on his reputation and a big hit on his next contract, right? Mm-hmm. So he's doing this. He's going to opt in, right? So that means it's on his last year of his current deal. I think he has to build up some more goodwill amongst the fans and amongst NBA teams to prove that he's somebody. The injury could still be bothering him. We don't know. That's a strong assumption. I mean, a weak assumption, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So I think he stays. I think Philly gave up way too much to bounce off from now. So I think when they did the trade, they locked in at least a 2-year window with Harden.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Kev, what about you? What you think about Harden?
I see it that way too, whereas like you did what you did with the expectation with we're gonna have to try this for a while. Let's see what happens. And it didn't work out the way you wanted to right now, but you have one more year to see what it does. But I'm still stuck in that quote about Harden talking that he wasn't getting the ball or there wasn't plays made for him to get the ball.
The ball didn't get to him. Bro,
the ball did not get to him. He didn't get to the ball as well. Let's be honest. No. Like there were moments where it was like, I don't know. He had a whole half with like 0 points, man. Like and 0 feet or whatever amount of field goals. I can't remember.
Yeah, 0 points. You'll score.
Like
0 points. Yeah.
He did the Houston thing where he'll pass the ball. Like he's been this way since he left OKC. He'll pass the ball, and he'll stand there and wait for the ball to find its way back to him. In Houston, that worked because he was the only option. There was no two. It doesn't work that way in teams that have other players that can put the ball in the basket. You got to kind of run to that side and show, hey, I'm here, I'm open. Harden doesn't do that, man.
He need to find the ball, man. He need to take a play from some of these other great players who know how to move without the ball, and who, if you're getting in a situation where people are actually denying you the ball, you're gonna have to make it work, which wasn't really the case for him. Yeah. It wasn't like there were double teams that putting up a wall and all that good stuff.
I've had even double team with Harden. That's sad.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I don't know, man, but they got one more year. That's that. If the question is what they do with the roster, they're gonna keep him for one more year. After that, how can you give him a max deal? I don't know. You're gonna have to show us something this year to deserve that. But
gotcha. Okay.
Disappointing.
Very much so.
Disappointing Harden. All right. Well, that sounds more like a trend dating back to Houston. So we'll see. I mean, the chapter is still open. We can see if he can rewrite his legacy, at least in this juncture of his career. So let's move on, man. The Bucks, man. There was a very hard-fought game or series with the C's. It was going back and forth. Game 6. Jayson Tatum just basically went supernova and flamed them with like 43 points or something like that. And I mean, was able to outduel Giannis' 47. Like, this was going down to the right wire, but at the end of the day, every time Bucks had something to say, Tatum had something to rebut with, and he was silencing that crowd. So took it to Game 7. Game 7 in TD Garden. TD Garden did not disappoint as per usual because it's Boston and they're fanatics. And
ruckus crowd.
Man, he said they're fanatics.
Yeah, they are fanatics.
They are, man.
And so at the end of the day, man, look, they just basically got it out of hand. Pritchard was hitting from all over the place. Williams was hitting from all over the place. Giannis was trying. It just wasn't enough firepower to keep up with Boston Celtics. They easily won Game 7, and now they'll be going onward to play the Heat. So with the Bucks, man, Middleton didn't show up. I mean, because he couldn't. He was injured, right? So this was Middleton's absence a glaring a spot as to basically why Bucks could not keep up with the C's. Start with you, Kurt.
I'm gonna say it is, man, because Middleton is. I mean, looking at the roster, man, outside of Connaughton, Middleton and Connaughton are the 3-point specialists. Lopez, he'll get a shot off here and there. Definitely good for a big man. But if I'm the opposing team, or opposing fan, right? Middleton gets the ball behind the 3 of Connaughton, I'm nervous. I'm nervous as a fan, right? If I'm the opposing team's fan. So you're missing that 3-point shot that helps open up the floor for Giannis so he can operate. And you're missing somebody else that Giannis can effectively dump the ball off to and get a bucket. Drew can do it. Drew's a perfect two-way player, man. But having Middleton, that's just another layer on the cake, right? So you're missing that point production and you're missing that defense. When I was looking at it on the other side, I thought I would never say this, but Milwaukee looked small to the Celtics, right? On the defensive. Giannis is huge.
Yeah.
Giannis, like late in the game, it was odd. Giannis was on Smart. Did you pick that up? Giannis was on Smart a lot later on in the game. Mm-hmm. Switches happen, but initially it was on Smart. And Connaughton initially was on Tatum before switches, which was odd, And then Brown, who are you gonna put on Brown? I think they had Drew. They were small, man. Like, they had nobody to square up. So if you had Middleton, Giannis could have been on Tatum or Brown and Middleton on the other. You got size on size, right? Then you got Lopez, man in the paint, and Drew playing free safety off of Smart. That's the Bucks that won the championship. To answer your question, Chris, it's a big loss, man. There's so many factors that Middleton affects the game. And for Middleton's narrative, I hate he got injured. But looking at the silver lining, I think this is good because even last year when they won the chip, I think his narrative people still craft on him. Mm-hmm. Giannis needs a better number two. Middleton can't do it, you know? He did it. And now without him, you see how far or how vulnerable they are.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Kev. You feel the same?
Initially, I didn't, only because I saw what they did without him, including that game one win.
Yeah.
Like that game one win, like they showed up where they tried to collapse on Giannis, and he was finding ways to distribute and get people involved. I felt like that recipe was enough to get them this series. Like even this game, he started doing that in the first quarter. He was dishing it. They kept trying to stop whatever he had to do. Basically, they were saying anybody else will beat us besides Giannis. And for a while, it was working. He was getting all these assists. I think he had like 5-6 assists like in the first quarter, something like that. And I wanted that to continue, but the other players just couldn't muster up enough offensive power to close out. So obviously now I'm looking at Middleton, right? If we had Middleton, that may not have been the case. But even without them, I thought like you guys have proven that you could do it. So I don't know what happened, man. Grayson Allen, he wasn't really dropping those bombs like he did in the first game. Connaughton, he could have done more in this last game that we just saw. And game 6, it was just a battle, straight up battle. Tatum and Giannis were going at each other. The role players didn't have Giannis in that game, and I think the same thing happened this time around in game 7.
Yeah.
So I have to now consider if we had Middleton, would things have been different? And I can't not say yes. Like wholeheartedly, it would have been a different series. I just didn't think initially we needed him though. So I'm saying that now in hindsight.
Yeah. I'm with you as well, Kev. I'm with you as well, Kurt. Like the thing is that specifically, like I know we both went into this like, yo, Giannis is the best player on the floor, and he was for 4 out of 7 games. Like he was probably the best player on the floor. The issue came down to like, you know, those other games where either they just kind of like, it's just things didn't fall their way. And, you know, maybe Giannis put up the most points or he was the most impactful, but it just wasn't enough as far as like team offense or team defense to hold on to the lead. The most significant thing that stood out to me was game 6, where Tatum would just bring the ball up and he's not passing to nobody. Like he's coming down here to score. Yeah. And it didn't matter who was on him. He was hitting every shot. I mean, nothing but net. It doesn't matter if it was a 3-pointer. It doesn't matter if it was a turnaround J on the baseline. It doesn't matter if it was a pull-up on the free throw line. Like, he was just like, yo, we're not losing. And it wasn't even like anyone else was just, you know, helping him and he was passing it off and dishing it off. He just decided, you know what, I'm not going to lose this game. And I don't think that's something that I took into consideration because I didn't know if Tatum was ready for that. A lot of times we would be like, is it Tatum's team or Jaylen Brown's team? I think after this, we know exactly whose team it is. They finally figured out the pecking order that it's Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and I mean, you know, kudos to Al Horford. I mean, didn't he have a game where he was just like acting like he was 28? Like the dude was out here dunking on people.
Game 6. I think it was game 6.
Yeah. And I'm just like, yo, Al Horford, like, okay, welcome to the party. I didn't know you had that passion in you still. I thought you were on your retirement year. You was just out here coasting. So
no sir.
The thing is that like, yeah, in hindsight, Middleton was missed. But the reason I didn't think it was an issue at first because we've just never seen that from this team, the maturity to where they can just go ahead and just say, you know, hey, get the ball in our guy's hand and get out the way, or you know, some surprise visit from Al Horford. Like we don't even have any of these stories with Jaylen Brown. I mean, Jaylen Brown contributed, not saying he didn't, but he didn't go nuclear. And I felt like Tatum went nuclear game 6, and then game 7 it was just like everyone got the fever, and it was just everyone was in rhythm. Now he doesn't have to be, right? And you see how they blow him out in 20 points, right? So that was pretty much the reason why I felt like, yeah, maybe Middleton was missed, but I would not have thought about that going into the series that Tatum and crew. I'm just calling him Tatum and crew. It's not Tatum and Brown. It's Tatum and crew.
I don't think you can. I feel what you're saying, Chris, but I still think Brown is like Tatum's 1. Would you say that Brown is 2, or is Brown 1 Bravo, 1B?
I think it's 1B. He's co-pilot, but
yeah,
that's the difference. He's co-pilot. It's Tatum is a pilot.
Yeah,
he's sitting behind Tatum in the cockpit, right?
But he's definitely not. He's not the mechanic, right?
Yeah,
he's not the person on the ground.
You're right. Yes.
The flight line operator, right? He's not this guy.
Correct.
I do want to say we got to give some love to the Bucks playing without their number 2, without their co-pilot. Because I was looking at the series, man, and I remember somebody saying, I forgot who called the game. I don't know if was it Van Gundy?
I think it was Game 7 or Game 6?
7.
Oh, I don't remember who was there.
I think it had to be them, right? Maybe 6. I'm not sure. The thing was, I think it was Game 6, and maybe they're calling that. And they were saying that the Bucks. It's funny how this series is going because the visiting team is winning on the opposing team's home court.
Yeah.
Right, because Game 6 was in Milwaukee. That was one of Boston's best games. Milwaukee showing that they could go into the Garden and hold their own, right? Hold court.
Yep.
And so that was a thing too. They were doing this without Middleton. So Giannis came up big too. So I know we're talking about the Bucks, but it's not a bad loss. Every loss hurts. Every loss is bad. But to consider what they did in the series to a relatively healthy Boston team minus Williams, yeah.
They did what they had to do. They won Game 5. 83% of the time, the teams that won Game 5 win Games 5 go on to win the season. So Celtics was back against the wall. They was up against elimination twice and did what they had to do. So they did it. They definitely took it. They took this win. It wasn't handed to them at all.
Yeah, no, definitely. So now that we see the results of this, man, do you guys consider Tatum a superstar now? Is it safe to put him in this superstar like realm in the NBA right now? Okay, what you think?
I'm looking at Kerr's face. I'm like, what's his expression saying? we this talk has been coming up even in the season when they've been on that run around March, April. People starting to say that, you know what I mean? But it wasn't playoffs; it was still regular season. So I held off, see what he did in the playoffs, and now I'm seeing what he's doing. I'm trying to figure out why wouldn't I put him in there, other than how many times have you done it? So. The only thing keeping up with superstar right now is showing me you can do that again.
Yeah.
But what he has shown me right now, taking the ball into his own hands, as you mentioned with Game 6, like, nah, I'm gonna take this game. We're gonna win it. He looked like a boy a little bit early on with great talent. Now he looks like a man and
grown man.
He's stepping into it. So I'm gonna have to give him that. You right there in superstardom, but you could also just fall right back out of it too. So. You just got to keep it up.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Kurt, how about I call you Coachella? And one.
I kind of missed the Coachella thing. So going off of Kev's thing, I can't think of it. Maybe one of y'all know. Has he missed the playoffs?
No. I don't think he has. I don't think he's missed the playoffs.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and this is the second time going? I know him and LeBron had a clash. I think that went to Game 7, Eastern Conference. I want to say this is
second time. I think
it's second, if not third.
I want to say it's the second time.
Second time, okay. But he's always been in the playoffs.
Yep.
He's knocking off teams. Maybe not. He reminds me of Dame, not play style, but the narrative, right? Dame is a person who's never made it to the championship, right? But he's a bona fide superstar. He leads his team. I think Dame got that moniker sooner because of the way he put teams out. I still remember that. I think he was maybe in the second year, the way he knocked out Houston for the playoffs, right?
Yep.
It was at game-winning three-pointer, right?
Yep.
Wonderful. Tatum's game isn't that. It's not flashy like Dame's, right? He puts the ball, he puts his head down, he goes to work. But to answer your question, Chris, I'm gonna put him in there. He's in the superstar fraternity, man.
Okay.
Because you know what? There was a vacancy.
Don't reference Harden.
There might be 2 vacancies.
Vacancies now.
2 vacancies.
We need vacancies now.
Hey, 2 people just got their eviction notices, man. And you know what? They used to play on the same team twice.
Westbrook? Oh man, Westbrook and Harden.
Kicked out.
And Harden. Hey, two-time teammates. Hey, both of them getting kicked out of superstardom, man. But yeah, Tatum's there. I like how the only flaw in this game was facilitating. Tatum facilitated his butt off this game, and not only that, but to assist, people got to make shots. Look at this disparity. Game 7, Milwaukee shot 4 for 33 from three-point land. Boston was 22 for 55. And Tatum was getting in the paint, dishing it hard to the open person. And that was like the weakest part of his game was facilitating.
Yeah.
And Tatum rose. He had 8 assists in Game 7, man. 8.
Yeah.
Only person with more on that team was Smart with 10. So he has a well-rounded game. I think that's another thing about being a superstar. You have to have you don't have to be a superstar in every facet of the game, but you need to be above average in every facet of the game. And I think Tatum's he's there.
Yeah, I agree, man. Look, I agree with Kev. I do agree with your points though, and one. And that is part of being a superstar is making your team better. And sometimes that is just by being extremely good at one facet of the game, and everyone can pick up the pieces for everything else. Look at Allen Iverson's Philadelphia team, or be above average or exceptional or really great at all multiple facets of the game, a la like LeBron, right? He can score, rebound, and assist, and you don't have to worry about it so much because he covers up so many people's weaknesses. And again, that kind of elevates the rest of your team. So now they can just do whatever J.R. Smith does, which is shoot, and that's his thing, right? So, I think Tatum is there. I think just as easily as it's there because we've seen him multiple years. This is the first year where I kind of feel like, okay, this guy, like he has it, like he's ready. He's ready to ascend to the next level. It just as quickly next year, he could be like, where's Jayson Tatum? and that's only because this is the first year we've seen it, and that's fine. Everyone gets there. This is nothing that anyone else is immune to or above. So if LeBron won one championship and never got back to the playoffs and never got back to the Eastern Conference Finals again, we'd be like, you had that one good blip, and then everything else has been very pedestrian. That's based on what we expected. So I do think Tatum is there. He's went ahead, crossed that threshold, but he's on probation, right? He has to continue to show.
So what's the number? Because he's been in. I don't know how many years he's been in, but we don't think he's missed the playoffs. So what's the magic number for entry?
Well, it's not about magic number for entry. It's not about this. I mean, obviously, all of this is eye test and arbitrary. We could just make up any number, right? 10. Whatever,
True.
Matter, right? but to answer your question, I think in the spirit of what you're asking is, when do we just say bona fide, no doubt, case closed, he's a superstar, and we're not looking back? And I think the answer to that question is when we start to see this kind of behavior repeatedly in the playoffs. Does it make sense? Or no?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So I want to say he's pretty much led them the majority of the playoffs, for each playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We consider Luka a star. Is Luka a superstar?
I mean,
he's I would say he has the talent. He obviously has the poise. We just need to see it more often. Like more often in the playoffs. Meaning this is the first time we've seen it. Same thing. Yeah, we can probably give it to him this year, but I want to see it next year. You know, I want to make sure that we continue to hold him against that standard iteratively. And just because he had a one really good playoff run doesn't mean that, you know, you're in, and it takes 2 playoff runs of you being bad to be out, or, you know, like it is organic, it is fluid, but I will consider him a budding superstar as well. Like he's on that cusp. I agree with that sentiment.
Because Tatum's in his 5th year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he's been in the playoffs 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022.
Yep. And guess what? First round knockout, second round knockout, Eastern Conference Finals, ran to LeBron, second round knockout.
And that's why I made the connection to Dame.
Has he been leading them like Dame? Because Dame was like this special character outside of anybody else in the team. But I remember that first year with Celtics, it was Scary Terry. It was
a collective.
It was a collective, definitely a collective.
Mm-hmm.
All those boys were young, and you know, we're giving what's their coach, man? All that
Brad
Stevens developing these young guys. Brad Stevens, all these props developing these young guys. A lot of energy out there. So it was a collective movement. But these days, you're seeing him doing what he's separating himself from Brown, one, as being the go-to guy, and actually executing, actually taking on a responsibility and fulfilling what's expected of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Luka and Dame do that more consistently night to night and represent that figure on the team more glaringly than Tatum is right now.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a shown. I love CJ. I love McCollum. But neither Dame nor Luka have a number 2 as strong as Brown. For the record,
true.
This will be his 3rd trip to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, sorry.
Nice career.
Okay. It was Miami. Yeah, it's fair. The bubble year, Miami and Boston. Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
See, I thought they met. I thought they went against the Bucks in the conference finals. That was my mistake. So yeah, we'll see, man. Like I said, I do like Tatum. And hopefully, you know, hopefully he continues on this trend, because yeah, he'll be.
Oh man, yeah.
He'll be a menace, and he's only what 24, 25.
I feel like he's been 24 for like 4 years.
I mean,
like people keep saying Tatum's young. He's only 24. I hear that every year.
I don't know. He you know, he just looks the same. Like he don't. Even with Kyrie grew a beard. You can kind of see. No, he's
kinda.
Jayson Tatum. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like he grew the afro. He started having the gray hair. You can see the from Duke Kyrie with no facial hair, low cut to this. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, fair.
Definitely.
Fair.
So yeah, man. Yeah, look, I'm excited to see it. So let's hopefully wish him the best, and yeah, we'll see what next round comes. And he's gonna get the Heat, and that's gonna be a grinder.
Nice.
There, so
yeah.
So let's move on, man, to the Western side. First, we get this out of the way, man. The Mavs and the Suns. I mean, the Mavs let the first 2 games go. After that, they just started straight up smoking the Suns. Like Luka went ahead and put on the Magic show for 4 straight games. They couldn't stop
Magic.
him. They didn't know what to do with him. And I mean, even his team came out. It was a party. Like, you know what I'm saying? As soon as the ball got in their hands from the hands of Luka Magic, it was going down. He was just transferring power. Again, it was like that Popovich wisdom, like the strands of hair or something, like the fairy dust. I don't know what was going on, but he dismantled the number 1 Suns, and him and Dinwiddie and I forget the guy's name, Finney Smith and Bullock, and like everyone's just firing on all cylinders. So they went ahead and skirted. I mean, again, just pushed them out of the way. I think it was the last score was 123-90. It was 57-27 by halftime. 27 points by a CP3 led team. Let that marinate. Also, Devin Booker, he was on the team too. So
yeah.
You have to say stuff like that. Like Because when you guys saw with the score, I was like, is somebody injured? That was my first thing. Is somebody injured from the Suns?
No. I Devin Booker was trying. He started off kind of slow, but like, let's just ask this question, man. CP3, man, we feel bad for you, point guard, but I mean, is this pretty much like, is he ever gonna get back to the finals? Is this what we're gonna like? The rest is only getting better. It's only gonna get harder. So is this the end of the road for his championship journey? So I know you're a point guard, sympathizer, Kev.
Yeah, I am. I'm saying no. I'm staying positive on this one. I'm all optimistic on this one. It's not the end of the road. Man. He's a great point guard. He's good enough to, even as he age, to be valuable on any team that's looking to take their team to the championship and want a solid point guard. Even if he has to come from the backup, it's like 38-year-old Chris coming at the back, backing you up as a point guard. I'm good. I'll take that. Like some 21-year-old young PG as a point guard as the main guy, and then he coming on the bench. Yeah, man, it could happen. He's not done. He's not done. But being the main guy though, being the one, I don't know. This is tough, man. I'm not shocked. You remember the prediction game? We talked about this. I was like, I'm not as confident as the experts. I was very surprised how everyone was leaning towards the Suns. I expected this to be a challenging game. I expected a game 7, and as I said in the pod, once this game 7 is like, all right, the game will tell. And the game told the story. Mavs came out to play. I don't know what Suns came out to do.
Yeah. No.
Someone have to explain the game to me. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I was watching.
I don't know either. It befuddles me too. I have no idea. N1, you have anything? Can you put some, clarity to this?
I'm gonna be with Reg. I mean, let's not forget Chris went vegan.
I got Reg tonight, but
I was like,
why'd I say that?
Yeah, he got all names all mixed up. Man, I took your ginkgo, man.
shout out to Reg, man. Enjoying his best life. Let's not forget that he went vegan, right? I was gonna say to Kev's point, man. I don't think we can count him out because when he left Houston, you remember it was him, John Wall, and Westbrook had these massive arbitrage contracts, and all the experts were saying no one is going to pick these guys up because of their contracts and their play at the time. Even though Chris was kicking butt in Houston, man. So he went to OKC, right? And people thought he was washed. They thought he was a wash king. But remember, that OKC team almost booted the Houston Harden and Westbrook team out of the playoffs. OKC was tough, right? But they went under the radar because they weren't winning really, right? It was a middle of the road team. Then he went to Phoenix. Not too much fanfare about it. Phoenix blossomed. Remember, CP3 got there. They got some other players, but let's not underestimate the impact of CP3 on teams. Houston, Harden's best run in his career was CP3. The Clippers haven't been as good without CP3. CP3 is just that dude, so no. We can't count him out, man. He's a young 37. Vegan years, that's 27. So he got a couple more years left. At least, I'm going to give him at least 2, right? We didn't see a decline in his play. He was healthy. He wasn't healthy the whole playoff run last year. He was healthy the whole playoff run this year, doing big things. Yeah. For me, I saw a regression in a lot of the role players. Devin Booker had a poor game. I mean, they all did. But I don't remember us talking about Cam Johnson a lot. We didn't talk about him. I don't remember us screaming about the player Mikal Bridges as much this year. And Aiden, is a contract limit on him? I know Kev said money, as far as being a motivating factor, it has its really low limits. But maybe he felt disrespected because Aiden was a workhorse last year during the playoffs. And for them not to give him the max, he might seem disrespected, maybe disheartened, maybe that made him take the foot off the gas a little bit because he felt like the team didn't respect his efforts. Maybe. I'm just speculating. But to your question, Chris, nah, man. This is not kumbaya to Chris Paul, bro. This is just I'll be back to Chris Paul.
All right. Well, I'm glad you have that level of optimism. Both of y'all are really optimistic about CP3, and I mean, I guess like he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, we already know that. Like he's done everything you can possibly do outside of winning a championship. I can only see one scenario where he actually makes it back to the finals.
What is that?
He goes to the banana boat phone. They have a dedicated phone line for each other. And he hits up. He summons LeBron and says, "Hey, LeBron, I'm ready to go ahead, join forces. Let's go ahead and be Voltron. It's gonna be a little rusty. It's okay, but I'll come to LA, and we can go ahead and make this run. Go ahead, get rid. If you got to send off Anthony Davis because he's kind of brittle anyway. It doesn't really matter at this point. If you're gonna go ahead and get Chris Paul, and that will help elevate them to being competitive. Now I don't know if they're gonna win in the finals. I don't know if they're gonna make it to the finals, but I can't see any other way Chris Paul outside of. I mean, I guess if you want to be a bench, a backup, a role player, then that's totally fine. I mean, if you want one that bad, then sure, go for it. But as a key player, a key component of a team like the Phoenix Suns, you have nothing but young thoroughbreds that's just out here running. Aiden is nothing. Like no one is old. Like the oldest person is Chris Paul. I think the second oldest is Jay Crowder. JaVale McGee, maybe. Yo, and I'm not even going to talk about Bismack Biyombo or Dario Saric. They're obviously
I forgot about Dario.
They're just there to fill roster spots. I got it. But like your main 8-man rotation, they're all they're not. I don't think they're even in a second contract yet, except for Jay Crowder, Torrey Craig, Mikal Bridges. Booker's in the second contract, yeah. But I mean, he's a mainstay. So
yeah. Some of the others. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just it's not like you had lack of experience because you have Jay Crowder, you have Devin Booker. It's not like you have lack of youth because you have everyone else. I don't know. Look, I think obviously I know. I feel everyone else feels. Chris Paul is a great player. He's a great point guard. He's gonna be going down Hall of Fame easy, first ballot. Don't even just put his name in. Just say he's already inked in. Everyone else you can vote for.
He's there.
Yeah. I don't see a scenario short of just doing some willing and dealing and just constructing your team or getting on a team that has already been designed to win the championship and just joining them. I don't see any other way.
Okay, I got 2 points in contention against that. Objection.
Go for it.
All right, so for one, in your hypothesis, your hypothetical world of CP3 picking up the banana boat phone, which could happen. I don't see him. If that call happens, it's not, "Hey LeBron, I'm coming in the bright lights of LA." It's, "Hey Bron, come out here to the dusty desert." Because we have a team.
That's what I thought.
You don't.
Yeah, you got nothing over there.
Yeah. Full of handle.
Oh, man.
Overwork. Dude, LeBron led all players in minutes for the majority of the season. No. If anything, I feel like all Phoenix needs is that 6'7" to 6'9" dude that can guard other players and a respectable 3-pointer. You don't need to be a star.
Mm-hmm.
A younger Crowder, who with a more respectable 3.
Sure.
Right? I think that's all they're missing. That's it. They got a big. They got a point. They got the closer in Chris Paul and Book. Mm-hmm. They got Bridges. They got the backup point. You just need that tall, flexible, do-it-all person, the 3 and D. Yeah. I think really that's all they're missing. And maybe Bridges can grow into that. He's 6'6", long wingspan. Give him another year. picking up a little bit, put on some muscle, get in the gym. He could be that missing link that they already have it. I can't. No, man. Why would Chris Paul leave that?
I hear you, and that's actually a fair point. It's a valid point. I will throw another hypothesis out there. Go ahead and get a three-way. Yeah, there was two. Another one. Go ahead. This is a little bit more far-fetched. This is a little bit more imaginary. Go ahead and put them on conference call, Banana Boat conference call. They go ahead and convene at the secret hideout and the clubhouse, the Banana Boat clubhouse, and then D-Wade is on the line. Have D-Wade have
Jazz into this.
Have Chris Paul and LeBron go to the Jazz. Go ahead, trade away Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley. You know what I'm saying? D-Wade goes ahead and sells his minority stake, and but not like only temporarily. Say, hey, hold it. I'm gonna go down there and play for a little bit. Go down there and get on the roster, man. and he pays himself.
Oh man,
there you go.
You have me up until the minority selling part.
That's it's a little bit more imaginary. It's a little bit more. It's not more movie.
It's very imaginary.
Extremely
of
imaginary.
The assets. But I'm just saying, look, this is the only way Chris Paul is making it. I'm sorry, like this.
I don't know why you're so doubting his ability to get back there. I don't know, but it's okay.
Yeah,
because it's hard.
Why is it?
It's
okay.
Hard.
He's incomparable though. There's like, who else? Name somebody as you compare to CP3. Like really, like who would you put face like match up next to him?
Historically or current?
Current, right now.
There is nobody who does what he does as a traditional point guard. So no, nobody.
And that's where I'm coming from. It's like, man, that's too valuable for you not to be valuable to someone who is trying to make that run for a championship. It's like you're gonna find yourself in those positions to be successful. Mm-hmm. Suns is one of them. A lot of people didn't show up like you mentioned, man. The role players didn't show up like they did last year. They really didn't. They really did not. Mm-hmm. This is not on CP3. Yes, they didn't show up as well, but he was tired. I think he was beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he won the game by himself, and I think they talked about it. I know they talked on ESPN. You can't consistently depend on the 37-year-old to lead you in scoring and lead you to victory. At this point, CP3 could be a crucial point, but Book should be the one leading them, or somebody else, somebody with those legs. You can't ask CP playoff game after playoff game after playoff game to be that guy. However, you can ask him to maintain the level of consistency and keep the ship afloat, which he's more than capable of doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I get it. But we've also seen championships be won by people who are not point guards of that ilk as well. Like a lot of them are two-way defenders, perimeter players. Whether it's Jimmy Butler or LeBron, Jimmy Butler didn't win one, but like he was in the finals. Giannis, when Giannis and Phoenix Suns matched up, he was a point guard, but two-way defender is the one who won the game.
Yeah.
So, or two-way player, not two-way defender, two-way player. But so I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, obviously the book is still open. I could be wrong. I've been wrong in this playoffs, this round. So I am immortal. Wrong. I am immortal. So.
Man, you serious?
I am immortal.
I thought you were over there rocking God power.
Well, sometimes with the way I call these things, man. Sometimes y'all do think I got that omnipresence.
Hey, where your money at? Where your money at? Show me your bets. Yo, that's what I keep telling you. Show me your bets.
I don't. I'm not motivated by money like that, so I don't make the bets. So.
There you go.
I'm not motivated by money like that. I just like to have I like to be able to trash talk, you know what I'm saying? Just that's all. That gets me up and going. So let's move on, man. The last thing, last but not least, man, the Grizzlies, man, it was a very hard fought battle. Probably to me the most exciting series in the second round, especially how game 4 or game 7s of these just turned out. Everyone getting blown out. The Grizzlies and the Warriors were going back and forth. There's a lot of trash talk. It was very physical. It was reminiscent of the old style of play. No love lost. I mean, Trip Jaren Jackson Jr. and Jordan Poole not dapping it up. Hey, yo, I like that. You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of showed that, like, hey, man, we ain't friends right now. We on the court. I don't know you. Like I said, it was really chippy. And it was going back and forth. Like I said, Game 6, Game 5, it was a blowout session. Everyone made fun of the Warriors. And Game 6, the Warriors. Game 6, Clay. I guess he put on the cape. You know what I'm saying? We was looking for Clay all playoffs, and this is it was Game 6, and it was the only Game 6 so far in this playoffs, and he had to put the Game 6 Clay cape on, and he showed out. And it just came down to just a few. It was good nip and tuck until like the last 4 minutes, I believe. And Kevon Looney and Draymond Green just started working the inside with the dips and the pick and rolls, and offensive rebounds just worked. I wouldn't say he had like 18 rebounds. Looney just out.
22.
22.
Yeah.
22.
Out rebounded
11 and 11.
Out rebounded the number one or one of the best rebounding teams, and out battled Steven Adams. I think
which is
very admirable, right? So
yeah.
Warriors, man, they found a way to win. I think that's what people were saying. They're going to find a way to win because they're exexperienced, and in Game 6, and you're chasing
the championship pedigree.
So,
everybody, they didn't kill that term. They killed that.
Yeah. So
this was the more nail in the hair prediction right here. This series turned exactly how I expected it.
Yeah.
Like grind out games, a couple blowout games, and then winning that 6 at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
No surprises here.
So yeah, I know I was very surprised, but I guess I wasn't surprised. That's not what it was. I had faith in my team and my prediction, and I think if anyone's going to push them to the limit and to the brink, it was going to be either team. Like I'm sure at the end of this, and we've seen it, Otto Porter's out, Gary Payton Jr.'s out. Like
it's tough. Yeah.
The casualties were the war of attrition.
Ja
is out, so it wouldn't have even mattered because at the end of the day, I have never seen Steven Adams go down for anything, and Draymond kicked him in the jewels twice, and he was out here like, I'm back, rolled his ankle. I was just being compromised. Yeah. So it was a battle. It was very physical. And it didn't matter who was going to come out, but they're going to come out less than 100%, and that's kind of what it boiled down to. And a couple of plays here and there, it could have easily been Grizzlies. So it was a good close game. It could have been anyone's series, but now that they're back, now that they passed that, they got past that gauntlet. They got to face the Mavs, and the Mavs look like it looked like the Phoenix team didn't even show up to play defense. So I think they got like a couple of 2 or 3 games off. They were just doing some drills. So they probably a little fresh. Do you guys think the Warriors are favored to beat the Mavs at this point? I know and one.
Come on, Kev. You notice how we talked about every other game, a recap. When we get to go to the state of Memphis, Chris is quick to jump to the next game and not allow us to do a recap of this wonderful Game 7.
Okay.
Hey,
let's.
I noticed, but I squeezed my recap in there. No surprises for me.
Okay. If you guys want to, elaborate on what happened, go for it. I'm all ears. Go ahead, and one. You see the guy like to say.
On my side. It's crickets on my side.
He said his piece and one.
Hey, listen, I loved every minute of this series. My only regret is that we did not face Ja like the entire series.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only regret into it, right? Because I know the haters are gonna say, "Oh, but you faced a Denver team that was broken. Oh, but you faced the Memphis team that was broken. Oh, it's kind of like all the other Warriors runs." Get out of here, man. Get out of here, right? Yeah. Nobody was saying that when Toronto won and we lost 2 of our stars, right? They won, we lost, it is what it is. The tell of the tape from this game, like you talked about rebounding, man. Like Memphis was like the top 2, if not the number 1 rebounding team in the league. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that was from Steven Adams, man. He was just, the dude is like the black hole. The ball just finds him when it bounces off the rim. Yep. And Chris, like you mentioned, Kevon Looney, and I love Looney. I did not see this. if you gave me free money to bet and say plus or minus 15 rebounds for Looney in Game 7, I'm like, minus. I would not see this. For real. But they had a clip where he said, not out loud, but I guess the teammates, that the way that Memphis just rocked Golden State in Game 5, or Game 6, I'm sorry. He took that personal. I'm sorry, Game 5. He took that personal. Yeah. He took it personal, right? He took it personal. And the fact that Mike Brown was going to start, I think Looney, he wasn't going to start Looney. He was going to start Kuminga. I think he might have started Kuminga. And Dre and Steph had to come to him and say, hey, we need size, because that's the Warriors' weakness. I like the fact that during this series, Memphis is a tough, I hate to say grind it out, because it's a reference to a former Memphis team, but they have that element in them. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that we went through that again, because Golden State had that moniker of being a finesse team, jump shooters, right? We won this series, but it was ugly. And Chris, like you said, both sides lost a lot. Mm-hmm. If Memphis won without Ja or hobbled Ja, how far would they have gone? Otto and GP too. They're coming from the bench, but they play key parts, right? Otto's the size, and he can shoot and he can move. Mm-hmm. We don't have nobody behind Looney, and Otto's not even a center. Yeah, but he sold down those minutes. So I'm glad we went through Memphis. We needed that tune-up. We needed that wake-up call. Don't rely on this championship pedigree thing they keep saying. And I like the fact it was a grimy win for like Steph. He had to stop relying on that three and actually get down in the paint. And that's the stuff that I remember from the Dynasty days. Yeah, sure, he was electric from beyond the arc. Shifted the defense to him. But I remember those deft dribbles, getting into the lane, falling on the ground, getting the bucket when it mattered. And I like seeing that stuff. I love that. That's why he bulked up some a few years back. Mm-hmm. And like you talked about Game 6 Clay. Hey, I know you talked about pre-pod. He's up and down like the stock market. As long as he's up on Game 6, bro, I'll take the Clay we
consistent.
got.
He's consistent, yep.
Oh, we gotta give a shout out to Two-Way Wiggs, right? Two-Way Wiggs. He played consistent defense. Listen, Wiggs was on it. Defensively, rebounding, Wiggs had 11.
Timely.
Oh man, listen, we had 70 rebounds. Wiggs had 11 of those, man. Timely. 6 offensive, 5 defensive, 3 blocks. Wiggs, Two-Way Wiggs, man. You better say it loud and proud. That was Two-Way All-Star Wiggs right there. He showed us in Game 6. So don't sleep on him. We need Wiggs.
Of course.
We got it.
He
woke up. Yeah.
You there?
Are you done? Are you done with that Wiggins part?
And he was just for the record.
Are you mad at the Wiggins part?
He was 50% from the field. 50% total. Mr. Half and half. Mr. Two-Way.
Again, he's the dude consistently puts his numbers up, and he did it when he needed to.
Bane ain't do that. Bane wasn't consistent.
Bane had a.
I'm not gonna dog the Memphis now.
Bane had a tight back, and he finally loosened it up enough to start knocking down shots, like in the last 2 games. But that's fine. Wiggins,
exactly. We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that.
I talked about it, but I don't even think Bane's that. I think he just gutted it out, man. I think he's just a competitor.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's quick for your back to be tight. They ain't go down like no chumps, man. They went down fighting.
Yeah.
Dylan 30 points, Bane 25, Jaren Jackson had 12. Mm-hmm. You know the focus of the defense was on Jackson.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So okay, cool. Yeah, I mean everything that you said I think was accurate or pregnant, with the exception of Wiggins. I will contest that, but
Two-Way Wiggins, Mr. Two-Way Wiggins.
I'm contesting his engagement. There were times where he was not really engaged. There were times where he would just kind of shut off mentally. It's like he just took mental plays off. And I mean, I'm not.
But it was timely though. It was timely when he stepped it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you mean by timing. Like when if they needed something.
It was in the fourth quarter. when it needed it, yeah, he was the one that started making those shots in the fourth quarter to start stretching it away a little bit.
I wouldn't even agree with that, but I had to go back and look at the tape.
Check it out. It happened.
I do recall it being still Steph and Clay. It wasn't really Poole so much Game 6. I do remember Wiggins hitting a corner three that was given that it was passed on him. He hit a corner three. He was knocked down three. And
that locked up Poole. Y'all did a good job on adjusting to Poole.
But I think what really stuck out to me more so than Wiggins was the Kevon Looney, Draymond Green just tandem, because they'll do a screen high, like Draymond do a screen high, and he'll receive the pass in the paint. So it makes the defense rotate to Draymond, which I don't know why we should just let him shoot almost 80% of the time, because 90% of the time he's gonna pass it. So it was just really weird. But it makes the team rotate, and he'll do the alley to Looney, or they just kind of had this 2-on-1 tandem in the paint that was keeping the game either just like switching leads or just really close. Like it just never got away from them when they started implementing that. And also like Kurt said, I do recall, like I recall or maybe it's just seeing it, maybe it's more memorable for me of Steph getting in the paint. Like him getting in the paint and scoring in the paint was more effective than me saying, Wiggins is just going off tonight, or Wiggins is just knocking down shots. I think
he did though. He was 20 for plus minus in the game, so he had the best plus minus of the whole game.
Yeah, and that may be true. I'm not disagreeing with the stats, and I'm not disagreeing with your assessment. I just think in the totality of the 6 games, Wiggins took off more games than he played. I think he was on the game.
Oh, that's not true. But y'all be dogging on Wiggins at that anyway, so I'm gonna always go back to the stats with Wiggins, because the eye test did not work on this guy. And even when the eye test should work, which is Game 6, when he made the timely shots, you forgot it. You don't even remember it. So it's like when it comes to Wiggins, when he do make the timely shots, it seems to be overlooked. And you're calling out the times that he's checked out. So for some reason with Wiggins, when he's checked out, we see it clearly, and when he's on it, I guess it fades in the background. It's always been that way with Wiggins.
And you know what? It's not big. It's not that I'm looking for Wiggins to be checked out. I think it's just that when I see key points in the game, Game 6. I can only remember one time where Wiggins actually showed up on the offensive side, not defensive, because defensive, it wasn't like he was asleep or he was getting like, I'm not saying that. But it wasn't like the defense was the reason that you guys were winning. It was the timely shots on offense, because they were hitting shots.
Yeah, the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so
because it was close. It was close up until then.
But it was close up until the last 4 minutes. That's my point, right?
There was a point in time where, like, I didn't time it myself, but Memphis scored, and I feel like we struggled to get a basket. There was so many factors that had to happen for us to get a basket. Then go down the court, Memphis is like, whoop, score. Like, look at how easy it is for them to freaking score. That was like third going into the fourth. So I know that time period you're talking about, Chris. It was a struggle for us to score, and it was so easy for Memphis to score. And then the defensive intensity did pick up. Kev, I think you hit on the head, man. Wiggs just statistically is there. He could be in the game. He just fails the eye test, and I don't. He's just that smooth. He'll make the three. He's not celebrating too hard. Like, go back on defense. He's not. Yeah, Poole make a three. He's doing all this stuff. He's celebrating. It's using some fancy footwork and dribbling involved with it. Right? It's flashy. Steph's flashy. Clay's a killer, right? And Dre's the emotion. I think Wiggins fits in, and when you think about it, that small forward position was where he was playing. When they had Harrison Barnes, he just did his job, right? KD, probably the most prolific offensive player to play the game. But even when he plays, even now with the Nets, he just scores and goes back and plays defense. It's not flashy, right? With the Warriors, it's the same way. So Wiggs fits in that mold of small forwards for Golden State, where you got Dre, you got Clay, you got Steph, and now you got Poole. So Wiggs knows, all right, I'm behind that, and I'll show up when I need to. Outside of that, I'm your support.
Yeah. I hear you, both of y'all. I do think that part of it is that he's kind of quiet, and that's okay. I don't think you have to be demonstrative. Again, I mean, Kawhi was quiet. Anytime you hear him say something, it sounds like it's a alien species that comes out of his mouth. It's kind of weird because he just doesn't talk like that. He's just not really emotional either. But I just feel like, again, Wiggins. I think that's what it is. I expect more from Wiggins because I know he can play better, and I think that's also a thing too. I know he can do better than what he's actually outputting, and either he just doesn't care, or he just not passionate enough, maybe.
Whoa! Or maybe he's playing around a bunch of great players and knows that he doesn't need to do too much.
But what I'm saying is that let me rephrase that. What I'm saying is that the game comes easy to him, so he doesn't really put in, like, he doesn't feel like he has to try really, really hard to get the results that he's looking for. And maybe that's it, right? Because you're saying, right? Oh, I mean, but I'm just.
I don't know how he feels.
I don't. This is speculation, but I'm just saying, like, maybe that's what it is, because there were reports. This is back in Minnesota where, he was being the rumor, or the, I guess, I think what you call it, the thing that follows him, that people talk about with him or whatever, whether it's justified or not, is that he has all this talent in the world, but he doesn't put it into work. And he doesn't. It's like he's naturally gifted at this. So because he's probably naturally gifted at it, it doesn't really come at him as like, this is the difficult thing I gotta do, because I'm so athletic already. I already know how to do these things, and so I just don't put that work in, or they don't see that work that required to be a great player. And so partly because of that, maybe he's okay with that. Like, maybe he's content,
or maybe that was Minnesota time, or maybe it's just that.
I haven't seen anything different. I haven't.
But you haven't heard the same statement either. You haven't heard the Warriors complain about his work ethic, and they want him on the court. They put him on the best offensive player for defense. Mm-hmm. They rely on him, and if you heard him speak about him during the press conferences, which if you watch Dub Talk and those kind of things, which is boring for non-Warriors fans, I understand that.
It is
but
boring.
When he gets into the details of it, these guys appreciate what he brings to the table, man. So I feel like this is all fan base criticism, where it's completely different to the team's view of him. Mm-hmm. It's completely different. But hey,
I hear you.
Once they're happy, I'm happy with him.
That's I'm with you too, Kev. I think that's what it is. I think I think a lot of people still looking at him through the lens of Minnesota Wigs, and all those statements you said was true. I think the only knock on him right now is his contract. If you notice, people don't talk about his contract the way they did when they traded for him. And that first year, I think when Steph was injured. Mm-hmm. But this season, no one's really talking about his contract being the fact that he's underplaying his contract. Mm-hmm. I think the fact that nobody is talking about him shows an improvement, because when it was negative. So the lack of the negative commentary means that he's doing something right. So I feel you. And with the Kawhi instance, Kawhi was quiet, but he was also the number one option. It's hard to ignore the number one option. When Wiggs had that opportunity, everything you said was true in Minnesota. I do think that still hunts him. And maybe his draft status, the money, all this, maybe he's just not a number one option. That might be the case. Because once again, talking about Jimmy, when Jimmy was in Minnesota, that was the best squad they had because Jimmy wasn't number one. I think it put everybody in their proper order. Cat was the 2, Wiggs the 3, as far as options. So,
yeah. I haven't heard anything about the contract stuff. I still bring it up because I still know it's there.
like it hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, like the contract ain't going nowhere, and that's why I always ask, like, is he worth this money? And both of you guys said no, right?
Yeah.
But I do recall, like, at least at the halftime for Game 6, they did say Wiggins needs to do better. Like, he needs to do more.
Yeah. That's true.
And so it's again, we just have an expectation that because I think people just know that Wiggins has the skill set and the toolkit with the size, the height, the speed, and all that stuff. He should be more contributive. And like, if you're saying, yeah, he showed up in the second half, okay, like, that's fair, that's fine.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
The fourth quarter, not the second half. Fourth quarter.
But yeah, like, we just want more. We just want to see it, more consistently. And I mean, that's not me being biased against or for the Warriors. I want Wiggins to do better. I mean, I feel like he's obviously number 1 draft pick and all that stuff. And obviously he has the talent. It's not even that the talent's not there. I think that's more disappointing is that he has. People say he has the talent to do it, and I'm just like, well, that's great. I want to see it executed more. I mean, for people to give you that praise and then say, but I don't see that potential being realized. I think that's kind of disappointing sometimes. Selling yourself short, in my opinion. But that's just me. That's maybe again, if he's happy, great. Like, if you guys are happy with him, great. If he was on the Grizzlies, I would say the same thing. I don't think I would change how I feel about him. But real quick, I know we're way over time. Yeah, I want to talk about the Warriors. Are they favored to beat the Mavs? We're going to just talk about this. Are they favored to beat the Mavs? Do y'all think they're favored to beat the Mavs? Or then we can go ahead and just, wrap it up from there. That's what I was trying to get to before, but Anwan had to have his soliloquy about how great this magnificent win was, how golden this opportunity was, and all that. But go ahead, Anwan. Mavs.
So I know my prediction is going against the season trends, the season stats. The Mavs owned us during the season. This is with when they had Presso on the team.
You said Presso. Okay. Porzingis is for people who don't know who he's referring to.
So, and with Phoenix, I mean, we poured even with Phoenix. However, I still think that the Mavs are a better matchup for us. Meaning, it's a more favorable matchup because our weakness is size. And I know we talked about Aiden, and Aiden kind of has the same narrative that Wiggins is fighting, right? Is he going to show up? We know Aiden's more talented. Will he be aggressive on it? An aggressive Aiden against us wouldn't be the best thing. Look at what the Joker did by himself. Look at what Jaren Jackson did when he was put in the right position and was able to do that, right? And Jaren Jackson isn't only in the post player. He's more versatile. Aiden's is down low. And asking Loon and Draymond to battle that for an entire playoff series would be extremely hard. Mavericks, they don't have anybody, man. Nobody in the post like that. Nobody that's going to scare you, right? The only thing that's scary about the Mavs center is when they bring Boban in, because you know that it's a blowout.
That's a sign.
You lost with Boban.
That's a sign.
I was like,
I saw that last game.
Oh, jeez. I ain't know we'll lose about 50.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So we got Luka is... Okay, so they got Johnson. They got Bronson. This is a game where we're really going to miss Gary Payton Jr. Because him and Bronson, we got that taken care of. The only other person his focus on would be Spencer and then Luka. Because even looking at the stats, Jalen had 23, Luka had 35, Spencer had 30. Nobody else touched double figures on the Mavericks.
Yeah.
It's just a three-headed horse. Draymond, Wiggs take turns on Luka, Clay, and then it's just the guards, man. Memphis is the only team thus far we played with an active guard. Not that they're on the level of Ja. So I think Curry can keep up with Spencer or Bronson. They're not electric like Ja. Long story short, better matchup because of the size. I think size-wise, evenly matched. We got bodies to throw at the right places for the Mavericks.
Kev, you agree?
I don't necessarily agree with the assessment, but I don't disagree with it either. Only because I don't know exactly what. I don't know. Size wise, I have to go down the roster and do that checkup. But I trust Kurt. Kurt, you want it? You know what's going on. You know these players. I'm going off of just the fact that, man, if we keep the ball rolling and flowing like we do, we're gonna be better than the Suns. Than how they looked offensively at times, where it was just a huge struggle. But Dallas really surprised me with the defense, but I guess it wasn't a surprise to you guys because you keep telling me about Mavs defense. I'm still worried about that a little bit because we get sloppy, we turn the ball over, and I'm worried that they're going to get these blowout leads on us because they have such scoring ability.
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern. If you guys start falling to their defense, turn the ball over, and they get to scoring, I'm concerned. But other than that, if we do what we do, play the ball we could play, I think we're a favorite.
Yeah. My only concern. So, the Warriors have a lot of stuff they gotta clean up. I mean, maybe it was exposed because it's Memphis as a matchup. Maybe it was, but even then with Denver, they were doing just some careless stuff. Like they just never really put Denver away. Denver kind of hung around until the fourth quarter, and that team was broken and battered. And it's really hard for me to. This is okay. Let me just go ahead and skip to the ending. Like this is the conclusion, or this is kind of my prediction here. Cause I can talk about the story and the journey how they got there. Y'all are down 2 players, and you're down temporarily a coach. I mean, you got Mike Brown, and we've seen how that looks. You're going against Luka and Jason Kidd, and they are healthy. I want to say that they just took a vacation. They're just running offensive drills these last 2 or 3 games. Like they're blowing out freaking Phoenix. I don't know if they showed up. Phoenix Suns showed up to play last couple of games. I'm kind of confused on that. That's kind of concerning for me because I mean, they only played 30 minutes this game 6, game 7. They only played 30 minutes. Versus the people who on the verge of elimination were playing 40, 44 minutes and stuff like that. And I mean, even the Warriors, they said they didn't pull away till like the last, like there was a series of transition plays to where Steph hit a 3. I want to say someone else hit a 3. I want to say it was Clay. Maybe there was Andrew Wiggins 3. And then there was a Jordan Poole dunk that bounced off of Dylan Brooks' foot. So it just went from it was tied to now they have a 9 point lead with 3 minutes left, or 2.5 minutes left. Like, just changed the whole perspective of the game. But they had to play that whole grind out that whole game. That and now they had a good few days. I think they're not gonna play until Tuesday, my guess. And so my thing is Dallas has just been chilling. So I don't know if that wear and tear is going to make a difference. I do think that Mike Brown being a coach, y'all need to get back Steve Kerr as soon as possible. Because he's going to sit here and get out here like, Kuminga, you bring the ball up, Kuminga. Like, no, what are you doing, Mike? No. Time out.
Sorry, Sacramento.
Yeah.
You guys hired him. Could have had Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I really think, Dallas is well oiled. Jason Kidd knows he's come really far from accidentally spilling, drink on a court, you know what I'm saying, his early days to now he's just like, you can just go at halftime, you just move some pieces here and then execute. Like, go ahead and do that, guys.
He's resourceful. I like that. He's resourceful.
Hey, no one else thought of it, so it doesn't mean you couldn't do it. It's just that he thought of it first. Like, Jason Kidd is smart, man. And again, I don't really know. You can put whoever you want to put on Luka. Luka's gonna get 30 points. That's just kind of how I see it. And I don't know anyone who can really stop him because of how he plays. And but that's why it makes him so dangerous, because he can still see the whole court, even if he's under the basket. He's almost LeBron-esque. It probably is LeBron-esque level. So I think this is probably the worst matchup. I mean, we've seen Phoenix play, and it's just like they had issues with the Pelicans. They had issues with Dallas now. Like, I don't think they were ready to play. I don't know what it was. I don't know why they like, I don't know.
They did have issues with the Pelicans. I forgot about that.
So this is probably, so Grizz was the first one, like, people y'all didn't want to touch. This is the other two y'all didn't want to, like, this is the harder route, in my opinion. I think if y'all had Phoenix, y'all would have figured that out. Put Wiggins on Devin Booker, harass him, and everyone else is. Aiden is going to take games off. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. You could put Draymond on him, because he's not even going to impose his will over Draymond, and Draymond will win that battle 9 times out of 10. So I think this is a heavier matchup for you guys. I don't know.
I forgot.
This is going to.
Kev brought up a good point. I forgot about those turnovers and the Mavs defense. Like, we were just, some of those passes, they were unforced turnovers.
Yep.
Like, all Memphis had to do was just count one. You got the ball back.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah. And they've had, like, what, 4 or 5 games with multiple turnovers this last series. They got to clean that up. So
4 or 5 years. Like, we're having to shake off this reputation of turning the ball over. It's like,
and it's only growing bigger. Like, they need to clean it up, like, right now. So
yes, sir.
I'll leave it right there, man. We are long in the tooth, man.
Yeah.
I will let you guys do sign-offs, and I will start with you, Kev.
Appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. I'm thinking if I have any good messages to share with y'all, but I'm a little in shock about all these Game 7 blowouts, to be honest with you. I was hoping for some more excitement coming down to the end. But it is what it is. We're heading into the finals for the conference now. Let us know who you think is going to come out and head into the finals. Like, comment, subscribe. We're here every Tuesday. As my boy Chris will tell y'all. We in here.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Mr. N+1.
You know what, guys? This time I got so excited about the win, I didn't even have time to research a fact for you guys.
Oh my gosh!
So I dropped the ball like we did many times in that series. However, we still came out with the victory. Come back next week. I'll be sure to have a good one for you guys.
That's cool. Hey, man, even players mess up every once in a while, so it's all good. I'm not even going to knock you this time. So
I'm gonna put this out there real quick. Just in the fourth quarter of the Memphis game, Warriors had 12 shots. Out of those 12 shots, Wiggins had 4, Curry had 4. I'm gonna just put it out there. Everybody else did what they did with one hand there. So Curry and Wiggins were the main 2 guys that were carrying them in the fourth quarter.
Four made shots. You saying 4 made shots?
4 made shots. 2 of them being threes.
Okay, gotcha.
And same for Curry. Curry had like 2 of them being threes. One was close to the line. I think that was a 3-2.
Yeah. And some of that was kind of garbage shots with Steph Curry, because I mean at that point in time it was over. But yeah, I get you. So fair point. Thanks for adding that perspective. So yeah, no. I mean, but it's good that he's to your point. So I feel you on that. So, again, let us know how you guys felt about the semifinals and everything that we talked about. Tell us who you think is going to probably win these conference finals matchups with the West and the East. And again, like I said, we're here every Tuesday. Like, subscribe, hit us up on the Instagram, hit us up on the Twitter and the Reddit. And if you want to, be ballsy and join us on the Discord, come through on that too, man. So, other than that, man, we're here every Tuesday. So until next Tuesday, guys, I'll leave you with the 2 fingers and deuces.